Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I like to catch people or countries in this, not countries, not the countries' fault, but the leaders of the countries who profess that they are almost, you know, like saints. They're almost perfect, and they like to, point fingers of other countries, other people, other leaders by correcting them because somehow they are not virtuous enough, or they don't have character or something like that. When they themselves lack that, and you can see that in the way a person upholds his ideals. So you can't be say, okay, I'm against killing a human life. Okay, we should all be. But then when your interest serves you, you you know turn a blind eye on that, and you just do exactly that. Or you say, you know what, I will invade that country because there's no freedom, no democracy, the human rights are not respected, the women's rights are not respected, all kind of things. Tolerance is not prevalent over there, and so on. So you do kind of stuff like that. But then in your little yard, you do these things that you point out to others, and against whom you act, sometimes violently. So in this case, I forgot about Poland, how Poland was viewed as a country because of its leaders, but because the social structure of the Polish society, according to some sources and some human rights organizations, and that's been forgotten. That was up to the Ukrainian and Russian scuffle. When this scuffle erupted, Poland all of a sudden became a saint and helpful ally and the perfect ally. You don't hear anything about Poland doing this, doing that, like you heard before the invasion. I will use an article to emphasize that. So this article comes from the Christian Science Monitor by Ned Temko. Sources are not necessary. How should I put it? Don't put down the sources as long as they tell the truth. And in this case, they're going to reveal things that we already knew. They just reiterate the same ideas that we forgot about, because now Poland is on a pedestal, because it helps the same guys who pointed fingers at Poland 2 months ago, 3 months ago. So let's go and see. This is the title. Poland given pass on rights violations because of Ukraine war role. Yes, so Poland given pass on rights because violations of Ukraine war role. So now they can violate certain things. We forget about those. So at first, at first they were like 3 months ago, Poland was a political pariah in Washington and European capitals. Today, Warsaw is an increasingly pivotal ally. So we need Poland right now. We forget about the whatever was before that. So we're gonna use Poland right now. You're our friend, buddy. Let's come over here. I'm gonna warm you a little bit under my wing. After this is done, but Poland now buys. It covers his butt. Let's put it this way. Covers buys American military equipment. I heard they want to buy some defensive rocket systems. They're going to buy some tanks. They're going to buy some airplanes from Great Britain. I think they are covering their butt. After this scuffle is over in, I don't know, 50 years or so, then Poland will be safe. All these violations that they had, and probably they still have, will be forgotten, because they helped. They put a shoulder to support the boss in this scuffle. Maybe that's why they are so eager to help. Since then, they were um, they were pushed to an extreme before, like fingers were pointed, and hey, you're a pariah now. Look what you're doing. So not long ago, Poland's government was coming in for sharp criticism, and even being punished for its violations of European Union principles and rules regarding media freedom, the protection of minorities, and judicial independence. So, media freedom, oh my God. I think Zelensky also banned some mass media and nationalized a few outlets, didn't he? The protection of minorities. And then judicial independence. What does it mean? That some guys get involved and don't let the judicial branch do its job without political interference, right? So, but the Ukraine invasion has overshadowed such concerns. The security imperative has imposed itself. Yeah, show me, if you have a problem in your country, and you have a lot of uprising, you just name an enemy from abroad, and everybody will gonna rile behind you to fight the enemy of the state. So yeah, here we have Russia. Forget about it. Everybody now we forget we're thieves, criminals, whatever. Let's go and fight this guy, which is another thief, all right, according to these guys, or criminal, whatever. He says the war has forced Washington and its European allies to downplay their traditional emphasis on democratic political values in the interest of forging a unified front against Moscow and deterring Mr. Putin from any such acts in the future. Really? Deterring from what? You were not in the conversation. It was between Ukraine and Russia. You just inserted yourself in that. It seemed like a little... So, EU leaders, including France Emmanuel Macron, who now holds the union's rotating 6-month presidency, have muted their criticism of Poland and other self-professed illiberal democracies on the eastern flank. Yes. Then Mr. Biden, for his part, he praised Poland's role in NATO as well as its generous welcome for hundreds of thousands of refugees. So Poland, but you see, you bring those refugees. Oh my, I gotta tell you. Anyway, they're gonna bring minorities. Wasn't the one of the claims here that they got problems with protecting minorities? So you bring more minorities in Poland. Why do you think Poland is gonna just say, "Oh, we have a change of heart. We love Ukrainians"? Now all of a sudden, go and ask Poles if they love Ukrainians, and you say, "Yeah, we love Ukrainians." Ask the Ukrainians if they love Poles. I tell you for a fact they don't. But I can't generalize. But I know a few. Nevertheless, that's one thing. And then Mr. Macron has long emphasized the importance of such principles, of democracy and domestic values and all that. And in a speech last week to the European Parliament, he proposed the creation of a European political community that would enable democratic European nations who adhere to our values to find a new space for political cooperation, even before they qualify for European Union membership. So they're going to get everybody riled around the principles that a law is not a law. A principle is not a principle if you bend it according to when it fits your interest. That's not. It's not. No. It's like you have a law, but it applies to you, but it doesn't apply to the neighbor. The same thing. How would you feel about it? Would you like the law? No, you don't like the law. You don't like the people who dispense the law, or who are overseeing or enforce the law, and the neighbor. But the neighbor, what's the neighbor going to do? Unless the neighbor is very moral and say, no, that's incorrect. I feel that, I'm giving a little boost here, and I don't want that. I want to be like everybody else. The law is blind, blah, blah, blah. But remember, United States also supported and supports many dictators on this planet, many people that did many, many bad things. And the principle of democracy, freedom, sovereignty, justice, and tolerance, and all that was not really, upheld. Let's put it this way. But that tells you, when you hear these guys pointing fingers at other countries and other people for moral reasons, it should go like here, go like that, and go somewhere else. Okay, that's how at least I do. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Poland, you're back in business. You're in the world community. We embraced you with our tentacles, and thank you very much for existing. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.